You know that feeling. You're the Friday night plan B. The one who reliably gets the "hey, my other plans canceled" text at 7 p.m. The colleague everyone knows is available for the meeting nobody else wants. The partner who gets told 2 years in, you deserve someone who is completely sure. I'm just not sure that's me. You show up. You always show up. But showing up has never made you the first call. You are not the only one who has felt this. But there is something about this particular kind of pain that almost nobody names. It is not dramatic. There is no single moment of rejection you can point to. It is the slow accumulation of being relied on, but not chosen. Being the safe option, not the dream. This is a story about Emma, a woman who spent a decade being everyone's backup plan until the day she understood why. Welcome to the silent lesson. Emma was 28 when she first noticed the pattern. Her phone lit up on a Saturday afternoon. Her college friend Sarah, "Are you free tonight? My plans with Jess fell through, and I really don't want to stay home alone." Emma said yes. She always said yes. She put down the book she was reading, changed her clothes, took the bus across town. Sarah was bright and warm all evening, laughing, leaning over the table, grateful for Emma's company. On the bus home, Emma replayed the call. My plans with Jess fell through. She had not been the plan. She had been the solution to a canceled plan. She told herself it didn't matter. Friends call each other at the last minute. That's just how people are. She went to sleep and did not think about it again. At least, not consciously. She carried the pattern into her 30s without recognizing it. At work, Emma was the person who took on the projects others declined. She was thorough, dependable, never missed a deadline. When the promotion came, the one she had worked toward for 3 years, her manager said something she still remembers word for word. "Emma, you are our rock. Honestly, I don't know what we would do without you. But for this role, we need someone who's more visible, more vocal in meetings." He gave it to Marcus, who had been at the company for 11 months. In her relationship, Emma gave James the kind of steadiness he said he had always wanted. She didn't create drama. She was consistent, patient. After 2 years, he ended things quiet. "You deserve someone who is completely sure," he said. "I care about you. I'm just not sure I'm in love with you." She nodded. She even helped him box up the things he had left at her apartment. At 34, Emma had a list she had never written down but knew by heart. The birthday dinner where she was invited after 2 others declined. The networking event where her colleague took the speaker slot Emma had suggested. The group trip where her name was added only when someone dropped out. She noticed something else too. Her coffee was always cold by the time she drank it. Not because she forgot it, but because there was always someone else's request to handle first. She had learned to put herself at the end of every list without thinking about it. None of it was malicious. That was the thing that made it so hard to talk about. Nobody had set out to make her the backup. They had simply assumed she would be available. Because she always was. That she would not mind, because she never did. That she had no strong preferences, because she never voiced them. She had not been chosen second. She had trained people to reach for her second. And the thing was, she was good at it. She had perfected the art of being there, of answering within minutes, of never saying "let me think about it" when yes was faster. She had made herself so reliably present that people no longer experienced her presence as a gift. It had become a baseline, a given, an assumption so deeply embedded that no one thought to question it, including her. She had a memory from childhood, her mother at the kitchen table, saying quietly, almost to herself, people treat you the way you teach them to. Emma had spent 34 years giving a very thorough lesson. The shift came on a Tuesday evening in October. Sarah's name lit up her phone. It was 6:47 p.m. Emma stared at the screen for 3 seconds, then set it face down and let it ring. She had plans. She was reading. She was in the middle of a cup of tea that was still warm. For the first time in years, she chose herself. Not because she was angry, not to prove a point, but because she realized she had never thought of herself as a valid reason to say no. When Sarah texted, "Hey, are you around?" Feeling low, Emma replied honestly, "I can't tonight. But I'm here tomorrow. Let me know." The world did not end. Vivian had been at the company for 22 years. At 68, she had silver hair and the kind of calm that people mistake for distance. She found Emma at the coffee machine one morning, 3 weeks after the promotion announcement. "I watched you take that meeting last Thursday," Vivian said. "The one no one else signed up for. You had 4 ideas in 40 minutes. Do you know how many of them made it into the final proposal?" Emma said she didn't know. "All 4, Vivian said. "Under Marcus's name." She poured her coffee and looked at Emma directly. "You're confusing being valuable with being convenient, Emma," Vivian said. "They don't overlook you because you lack talent. They overlook you because you've never given them the chance to miss you." She paused and looked at Emma the way people do when they have been waiting a long time to say something. Availability is not the same thing as value, and you have spent a long time confusing the two. Emma looked at her coffee cup. "So what do you do?" she asked. "How do you stop?" Vivian smiled, not warmly, exactly. More like someone who recognized a younger version of themselves. "You stop showing up for things you don't actually want to show up for," she said. "Not because you're angry, not to make a point, but because you realize your presence is not owed. It is offered, and offering it to everyone, all the time, at any hour, that is not generosity. That is erasure." She picked up her coffee and turned to leave. "The first time you say no," Vivian added without turning back, "it will feel like you've done something wrong. That feeling is just the sound of a habit breaking. Let it break." There is a difference between being loyal and being easy to overlook. Loyalty means showing up because you genuinely want to. Being taken for granted means showing up because you have never let yourself be unavailable, and the people around you have stopped noticing the difference. The painful truth about being the second choice is that it is rarely about your worth. It is almost always about the expectation you have built. When you are always available, always accommodating, always the one who adjusts, people stop considering whether you need anything in return. Not because they are cruel, but because you have made it very easy not to. And here is the part that almost nobody says. You cannot change what you accepted for 10 years in a single conversation, but you can decide today, this week, to be the first person you call, to have plans of your own that you do not apologize for, to let some calls go to voicemail, to take up space in rooms where you have been quietly sitting at the edge. The people who see your value will not leave because you finally claimed it. The people who only valued your availability, you will find out who they are. There is one more thing worth saying, because almost no one does. Pulling back is not the same as building walls. This is not about becoming cold or guarded or strategically withholding. Withdrawal out of hurt is just another form of giving your energy away, only this time to the anger instead of the person. What changes when you stop being the perpetual second choice is quieter than that. You simply stop rearranging yourself to fit into spaces that were never designed to hold you. You stop apologizing for having preferences. You stop pretending you have no plans when the truth is, you just didn't want to go. That is not coldness. That is self-possession. And there is a difference. Emma is 36 now. Last month, she applied for a role at another company. She did not tell anyone in advance. She prepared for 3 weeks alone, in the evenings, with the same thoroughness she had always given to other people's projects. She got the job. Her first day, she walked into the conference room and chose a seat at the center of the table, not the edge, not the corner closest to the door. She had spent years gravitating toward the perimeter of rooms, as though taking up less space were a courtesy to others. That morning, she set her notebook down in the middle, pulled her chair in, and looked at the people around her without apology. No one found this remarkable. But Emma noticed it. She still answers most of Sarah's calls, but not all of them. And she has started saying, simply, without explanation, I already have plans. Even on evenings when those plans are just a book, a cup of tea, and the quiet choice to be exactly where she is. A few weeks ago, Sarah texted her unprompted on a Wednesday afternoon. I just wanted to check in. I feel like I've been taking you for granted. I'm sorry. It was 3 sentences. Emma read them twice. She typed back, thank you for saying that. Let's get dinner this week. First choice, not backup. Sarah sent a laughing emoji then, always first choice. Emma put her phone down and went back to her book. Drop A in the comments if you've ever been someone's backup plan, or tag the friend who needs to hear this tonight. It's time to be your own first choice. Stay with the silent lesson.